All right, welcome back to Survivor Gabon.
Gabon, baby. Whoa, what's happening? What is that? What is happening? You can do a weird thing every time. What's going on?
Ooh,
Call it like you call it like a Gaboner last like our first
no, I
time
haven't
coming in.
had
I was
that
like,
since the first one.
like, you haven't had one since the first time. Oh,
Yeah.
well, you might want to talk to your doctor about
Uh,
that. Anyway, yeah, here we are. We're back.
Last episode,
Back.
Paloma had to go.
We saw Shalom there.
Yeah, well, it would have to be Ace or
Yeah.
Paloma, and
Mm-hmm.
you know how that goes.
Well, it's got to be. You got to keep Ace in a little longer because Ace is the place for the helpful hardware folks.
Ace, you gotta have the ace in the hole.
Yeah, you gotta have the Ace in the hole.
Ace up your sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, they were trying to seem like they want to make some moves against him. Did not seem that they're still in the works, still TBD in terms of when they'll pull the trigger on that one. But I guess they felt that getting rid of Paloma was the way to go.
Yeah.
So it was funny because what's her name voted with Paloma to vote Ace out based seemingly on nothing. It was it was kind of funny that she didn't seem to go with the flow with everyone else, where they're just like, no, we are going to get rid of Paloma actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious as to see if that thread goes anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And by that thread, I mean it's not like specifically the fact that she voted against Ace. It's the thread of what is going on in her head at any given moment.
Exactly.
So yeah, I want to know. I want to know any of that that's going on.
What else? We had Sugar on Exile.
And Sugar on Exile. That's right.
She found the idol.
She got the. Yep.
Dan said it wasn't possible. I looked for 6 hours. There's no way anybody's finding that thing.
I don't know. I mean, I know we get a time lapse. We get like 30 seconds of him looking around or whatever. But I'm convinced that he didn't go more than like 300 feet away from the clue box.
I mean, it takes forever to cover the bottom of the ocean floor or whatever he was checking.
Yeah, he was like looking like this or whatever. Like, what are you doing?
It's not happening.
It's like looking in this lake. He's like, oh, it must be in the lake because it mentions
Sugar
the
goes
lake
over
in
to
the
this
clue.
huge opening where this is giant obnoxious crater. Can't miss it.
She's like, oh, I bet this is it. I bet this is what it's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, some other stuff going on, but let's just get into it. All right, as always, click link in the description.
Let's just go. Let's just go.
Click link in the description to see the highlights of our reaction and come back afterwards for the discussion, okay? All right, there you have it. It's episode 3, Survivor Gabon. Jackie.
There it is. Jackie, one of the blondes, the 4 non-blondes.
We don't have to
one
mix
of the
up
blondes
the
is
two.
out. Yeah, we can't. We can't have that. No, can we?
Yeah. So we also we got Jackie pleading her case, but it's also an unusual circumstance because it's like Maddie basically told her that she was like they were thinking about taking her out.
Right.
Just ratted the whole thing out. So she
pretty much, yeah.
She almost got like a warning, you were going to be killed tonight. Like, try to convince them not to kill you. And
right,
like,
please don't kill me. And they're like,
okay, pleading for your life.
Yeah.
It's like, she's really tugging on my heartstrings here. But ultimately voted Jackie out. So
yeah, they're keeping Kelly in and around. Yeah, it's like one of those things. This is in the moment. This is still in the part of the game where like strength is still kind of a priority for like trying to keep the tribe together and trying to keep you from win challenges. At the same time, you do have to start thinking strategically about the game ahead. You can't always be having that into consideration. So, I think ultimately that was probably the best move for them to do. But, we'll see at what cost because. They were even being like, man, I don't know, we got to get rid of Kelly. She's miserable to be around. And they're like, and she sucked at the challenge. But so it's just like they are favoring the strategy over the potential short term gains. So
well, because there's something in the water, so they know Fang is cursed.
yeah,
They're gonna lose forever. So you have to.
Right.
You have to do
even
it.
though they
Jeff
didn't,
even said it.
even though they didn't last time. Yeah, Jeff
Yeah.
even said it. Even though they won twice in a row last time.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like they would have voted would rather have Ace go, I'm sure, but it's like that's just too egregious. You know, he's like the only one who was doing anything in that challenge. It's like
yeah, everyone else was just like was foundering basically, or floundering.
Yeah.
Foundering.
Yeah, everybody else sucked in that challenge.
Yeah, it was rough. It was kind of rough to watch, honestly.
But it was pretty interesting. It's like a water polo mixed with lacrosse type situation. But it was like a couple people kind of got it. It was like Marcus and the other tribe got it. Maddie kind of got it. Randy was good where he was at.
Yeah.
And then Ace was just
it was like
Ace was resorting to like getting down and dirty with it and doing other things. You know? They could at least try that. We didn't see any of them trying that. So
yeah, none of them tried it.
You
saw
was
just him.
Ace went down. He was super fast doing that. He's like creeping up on him.
Yeah, Randy had the offsides tactic is what I'd like to call it. Where he basically is like pretty much behind everyone else, and he's just waiting back there to get a pass to then just score it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it worked 3 times in a row. So
yeah. And so the dilemma was that Ken, Crystal, and GC wanted Jackie out because they felt like they could use Kelly as being like the outsider of that tribe, so she won't want to work with them.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's why I picked her in general.
Illustrated by the rankings, And so then, but Maddie was like, "No, I want Kelly out because of the challenge, I guess, and the attitude." She's like, Kelly has a negative attitude, all that.
Right.
So it was interesting that he went and then told Jackie that they were talking about voting her out, and it was like he purely just wanted to vent to her about it, but then ultimately they ended up voting her out anyway. So it's like,
right. So this is what can you do?
It's like she got a chance to plead her case, but ultimately didn't work out.
Yeah, it was still, I would say, a valiant effort, more than we usually see. As I was sort of saying at the end,
it was like pure desperation, though. It's like, it's like,
it's like what can you do?
Line.
Yeah,
like I'm begging you here. I really want, what I've always wanted was an alliance with you, Crystal, more than anyone.
Yeah, that was I will I mean, it was desperate. But like in terms of desperate final pleas, it was one of the more thorough ones because she went to pretty much everybody. So
I mean, at least from what we saw, Kenny right after he talked to her was like, "Oh, you actually kind of want to vote Kelly out." Now that I talked to her.
Yeah, really, yeah.
But
so
they're both hot, So,
they're both hot.
So it's hard. I can't even use that as a factor.
I know. And there's another hot blonde showing up again. Here we go, sugar.
Yeah, get some sugar on the side.
Yeah.
But so they were talking about how she could use the idol for one of those 3 as well.
Yeah.
So that's another factor.
Right. Well, that was the whole thing. Is like we have to get rid of one of them because to keep that threesome of that.
Ace, Sugar, and Jackie would have been solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if those 3 were solid and then she used the idol correctly, then suddenly they don't have an advantage in the numbers. So it would be 3-3.
Right. Exactly. So.
We did see. So they ranked their tribes in the beginning.
Right, ranking.
Everybody's privately filled out their little form ranking everybody, and then you saw it all laid out, and then you just swap after the fact. So.
Right.
Anything interesting from that situation? Alternated.
Well, I mean, I think Yeah, I mean, I think the whole Kelly situation was probably the more interesting thing of that.
Bob,
It was
uh,
Bob was also kind of
a
interesting
bargain
because like
bargain pick. He was a
Bargain Bob.
high ranked
Yeah.
and didn't go till later.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sugar,
they really had to lay into GC of being that they like really laid into GC like real
well,
hard. Be like,
GC,
yeah, you weren't picked.
but
You
Randy,
weren't picked.
yeah, I
It's
mean,
like,
it's a good thing he
geez.
didn't end up on a trial with Randy because Randy has been
Yeah.
talking about how he's a
Randy hates
cancer and
him.
all this. You know, he
Yeah.
wants
Yeah.
nothing to do with him.
Randy just hates this. Randy hates this man.
Yeah.
So
But Sugar ended up being left out, was not picked, and so she got to go to
mhm.
Exile Island. So got off scot free for this vote, but will come back
Yep.
now into the Fang tribe, which is what
Yep,
she was
she is
hoping for.
just
But she was assuming they would vote
right.
out Kelly. So we'll see.
Mm.
Um,
Yes, there's gonna be some budding there, I'm sure.
she just had a little Sugar Shack moment, and that's all we got there. You know,
Yeah.
a
That
little
was
check in.
that was cute. Sugar Shack. I mean, I
And
thought it was interesting. They had Marcus was number one, right? It was like Marcus number one, and then
mhm.
who's number one on the other tribe?
Maddie.
And Maddie, that's right. Marcus and Maddie.
Hmm. The white brown haired guys that start with M.
Ah,
You
yes,
know,
that demographic of men.
they
Um,
always score high on
I
these
did,
popularity
Mar-
contests.
Marcus and Charlie both ended up together again. That was fun.
Hmm. Can't separate them.
Mhm.
But not too much from this episode other than that, you know, it was nice to see
Yeah,
different dynamics at least.
right.
Mixing them up a bit here, but yeah, poor Jackie got toasted here. Mm.
Absolutely, absolutely a hose. I would say in terms of like most of the of most of how these like tribe swap things have gone.
Hmm.
Um, I guess it probably. I mean, it clearly doesn't feel good for Jackie, but it was a clever reading of the social dynamics because I mean they could have just done whatever anyone else did. They're just like, pick the next strongest person. We'll
Yep,
pick the next strongest person, and then they read the room and they're like, no, we can use this to our advantage here.
that's exactly what the producers clearly intended there, because like
Yeah,
they just looked at it
yeah,
like, whoa, see, she was ranked number 8 on your tribe, so she's clearly on the outside.
yeah,
And it's like you can't even
right,
really refute it then. So it
yeah.
would have been interesting if they didn't do that before. How different would it
Mm.
be? First of all, would that have like changed their picks to begin with? Probably.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why.
probably
That's
a
why
little
they
bit at
picked
least.
Kelly to begin with. Yeah, she was the bottom because she was the
Yeah,
bottom pick.
right.
So that would have changed the picks, and then
Yeah.
might have Jackie might have been able to actually stay in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who would you give your MVP for the episode?
I think we give it to Crystal.
Hmm.
Uh, I liked the moment when she had like a lot of pretty good like lines and moments this time around. But I loved how when Kelly was like straight up calling her out at tribal, she was like, "Oh, hold on, no." She's like, "I was trying," and she like held her whole case. And it was funny because we know that she's an Olympic athlete, and she's being told by you know,
Yeah,
this nothing that she's lazy or whatever. So
not gonna fly with
it
her,
was like,
even
wow,
though
yeah,
it seemed like she didn't have
yeah.
much going on over there.
She didn't. She
She's
did
like, I
not have
was
much going
trying,
on.
but just every time we
I was
saw her on
trying.
screen, she was just
Yeah,
over there in like a little pod with like
yeah.
Ken
She was like,
and Kelly
they
just in the
couldn't move at
corner.
all.
Yeah.
But I liked her
You
whole
would think
perspective
an
on things
Olympic
though.
athlete would do better in a challenge like that, right? You'd figure it
You
out
would. I mean, I
eventually.
guess
Like I
maybe.
can't know I don't know how to move this boat.
I'm assuming she was a track and field. Um,
Yeah.
I think she has the build of like a track and field
Hmm.
person, like running. So I mean, moving like that, it looked awkward, and no one was getting the hang of it. So
But
I
Marcus
don't
was.
know.
What was Marcus? What does Marcus know?
I guess just
He was effortlessly doing
he's
that.
he's played enough camp games. I guess he went to camp a lot when he was.
It's like no one was. It seems like like Ken was just like chilling in there. Like at one point, he's just like, "You gotta get down in there like Ace was doing. Get your hands in there, something."
Yeah. Just like if you can't figure out how to move it the normal way, like at least get in and.
There's points where the goal was just wide open and no one had any sort of urgency. No one was even flailing like, trying to get something to happen.
No, they were just kind of like, oh no, the goal's open. Oh no.
It's like they already knew. It's like, oh, we don't know how to operate this thing. We're just kind of floating here.
Yeah. Jeff was just calling everybody out. Jeff was like throwing shade literally the whole time. He's like, they're not. Kelly's not doing anything. Ken floundering.
Yeah, you even said like this is one of the most lopsided challenges in history. You know.
Yeah. It's just like wow.
It's rough to watch.
Yeah, it was tough to watch, but I think that's about it. I did like the fact that like we were all setting up. You know, the beginning too. You had, yes. The Kelly's the next lamb to the slaughter, and then the Randy's being like, "Don't worry, I'll plot with Matt, Susie, and Dan, and we'll get them out, get everyone else out." And then that didn't happen either. So I love that. I love how they always show that they're like, "Yes, we have all these plans," and then they never come to fruition. So
all right, there it is.
Good stuff.
I'll come back next week for another episode of Survivor Gabon. All right. Until then, why don't you check out the video where we assembled the unofficial Tarqaron soundtrack, where we picked a track from each of the musical things we reviewed on the channel to assemble the ultimate Tarqaron soundtrack.
That was a fun episode.
Yeah. All right. And subscribe to the channel for more. Like the video, leave a comment letting us know your thoughts. Until next time, take care.
All right.